Hello, beautiful souls. I am Valeria Maritza at Healing Through You. I am an infinite being of light, and so are you. How are you today? Is September the 29th. This month is just completely flying by. I want to talk to you today about being in the present moment and seeing the positive things that are happening for you in the present moment. It can be difficult when things are looking really bad or things are just coming your way and you don't know how to deal with them. And we tend to go down into the spiral of feeling like, why is this happening to me? And when we have that point of view of this is happening to me, we aligned with the victim mode, the victim energy, which is quite a low frequency energy. And so it's like, victim me, this is happening to me, poor me, look at me, help me, right? And what happens is that you become quite aligned to receive more things, more experiences that make you feel like a victim, that make you feel like poor me, that make you feel like this keeps happening to me, right? Why does it keep happening? It keeps happening because you keep saying it, because you keep thinking it, because you keep believing it, but more importantly, you keep feeling it, right? Because we've talked about manifesting things. We manifest things as we feel them. The feeling is the most important thing. If you are um, seeing something and it hurts and you're sad, okay, and then you start crying and like having all of these feelings inside of you about that thing, guess what? That is the fastest way to manifest more experiences, more things coming your way that are going to make you feel like crying, upset, and sad, and all of these things, right? So it's the feeling that really creates your next reality in the future, right? So you're constantly creating what's going to be shown to you by the way you feel. So if somebody bothers you, let's say you have a colleague or someone at work or school or in your life that irks you, annoys you, and you're giving energy to that, oh, that annoys me, oh, that really bothers me, right? You're feeling it, like when you say it, when you say these things, right? When you think about something that bothers you or you don't like, and it really bothers you, it irks you, and you say, oh, that hurts, or that bothers me. Feel what part of your body are you feeling those feelings, right? Like when I even say that, and I'm not even thinking of anything or anyone specific, I'm just saying the words and I'm immediately feeling it in my belly. And like I'm feeling constriction in my body. I'm bringing my energies down and I'm making them small and I'm aligning them with that. So let's cancel and delete, cancel and delete, cancel and delete. Um, I don't want to be aligned with that. So instead, try to look at what good is coming out of it. And I know sometimes it's like things are like really difficult, but there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, whatever you're going through. Also, know that things do not happen to you. Things happen for you. And they're happening for you sometimes in the worst ways possible. As a human, it's really difficult to see why it will come to us in this way. But it comes in a difficult way because we're aligned with the energy. But it's happening for us because there's always something better that happens from it, right? There's always something better. Whatever it is, you have to find it. The only time you cannot find it is when you're still grieving the loss of whatever it is that's happening to you. Okay, so I'm going to give you some examples that I have personally seen in my life, so personal examples, and then I'm going to give you some examples from other people. So, for example, many years back, I went through a really bad divorce, and it was really down to the core. I was in the middle of the downhill spiral of how terrible everything that has to do with separating from someone that you love has to, brings with it, right? And of course, I thought it was like the worst thing ever. When I started coming out of it, which was not that far, right? I did not stay in this downward spiral for too long, maybe like, I think it was like a 4 to 6 weeks. Then I decided to, okay, that's long. Yes, I understand. For some of you, that's long, but some people like they spend the whole rest of their lives um, um, in that spiral and blaming and all of that stuff. So then I started going into the part of, okay, what can I do? I took a trip to Italy. It was so amazing, liberating, eye-opening, all the things. Came back. I had a clear mind. Because while in my trip to Italy, which I took solo, I rose my frequency. I did things that I like. I was having fun. I was loving me and honoring what I wanted to do without thinking or worrying about anyone else. It was just me. Because I was doing things that I liked and my frequency rose, I aligned with my best um, timeline of what would be the best thing for me. And I got clear because I was alone. I didn't have anyone else telling me, this is what you should do, this is what could happen. Nothing. It was just me and what I wanted myself, right? So I got back to me. Then I came back from my trip and I had clarity. I had clarity of what I needed to do, what actions to take, and I took action, right? And then once I took action, my life completely changed in a matter of months, where I ended up dissolving the marriage, selling my house, moving to a different country, all within the next 3 months. Incredible, amazing manifestation of change for the positive, where I became a completely different person. I was really living the life that I wanted. I was not worried about my ex or having a partner or not having a partner or none of those things. I was just being me. Well, it was one of the best times in my life in terms of just being and living in the moment without any worries about anything else. It was just amazing, right? Okay. Another thing that happened when when I was younger, my family immigrated to the United States, and so I had to leave everything, right? My home, my school, my friends, everything. We immigrated to the States with like one little suitcase, and it was a huge, devastating wound and trauma for me as a child that happened. But then, looking at the good things, right? I started. I was able to reunite with my father because he was here before, so I hadn't seen him. I was able to learn a new language. I started to be in different places and have different experiences. I got to experience snow. I'd never experienced snow when I was in Chile. So all of these things, positive things, began to happen for me, right? So yes, the beginning, the trauma, the thing that's happening doesn't feel good because we are attached to what we're used to. We're attached to the comfort, right? And comfort, when you're comfortable in something and you don't want to move or change or take a chance on yourself or the next thing or your ideas that you're having, that's actually a fear. It's a fear of, am I actually going to make it? Am I good enough? Can I actually do this? Those are fears of letting go of what you have for the next thing, right? And I actually had a whole podcast about this. I don't remember which one it was, but I did speak about this before. So when you align to what's good of what's happening in the moment, then you get to see how the universe actually works for you, how it's always been supporting you, how it is things are happening for you and not against you. I'm going to give you something else. As a healer, lots of healers go through this, in that there's like this huge fear of being put out there as a healer because it's weird or it's scary or it's not the way that your religious upbringing says it's good or whatever it is, right? We have so many wounds that we're carrying. So as a healer, coming out into an audience and saying, this is what I do, this is what I can do, it's super duper scary, right? And for me, I had been carrying this feeling and not doing anything to share my gifts for like the longest time, until I was finally was able to just go through and put myself out there and say it and begin to spread the word that I was in sharing my gifts. And people came to me and they began to feel good, and that reinforced that, oh, okay, actually this wasn't so scary. So the whole big scary thing was taking that big step, putting myself out there, right? On that same note, this just happened to me last night. So I have my Facebook group, and then I have my private Facebook group. In my private Facebook group, I talk all about the things that I do. I share energy healings. I talk about my offers, all of that stuff. On my regular group is just pretty much my life and things. And once in a while, like I invite people to my other group, and that's it, right? I'm not really putting it out there because it's scary. And a couple of months back, I was like, you know what? I'm going to start putting more things in that group as well, because I feel like it's part of my growth. It's part of like being seen. It's part of me sharing who I truly am with everyone without really worrying about what people are going to say about me, who's going to leave because of it, because, of their own fears of what I'm doing, right? Like, same fears I have is the same fears other people have, right? So if they're not there, they might leave, or they might say things that are not nice or whatever, right? I have to get over that fear. So I started putting things. Last night, I was doing an energy healing in my group, and somebody said they couldn't hear me. And so I said, oh, let me just take off my headphones, and maybe you can hear me better with the speakers of the computer. And I took off the headphones, and the connection just went off. Apparently, when you are doing a Facebook Live and you change the way that you are being heard, the audio, it just turns the thing off. It stops it. So that's what happened. So my thing went off, and then I opened a new one, a new Facebook Live in my group. I did the whole thing. Some of the people that were there previously were not seeing me, but I did my whole thing. I finished, and then I went, and I couldn't find the video anywhere. I'm like, what happened? Where did it go? And I was so upset because, like, I just did this whole thing, and like nobody saw me, and I was so confused. I didn't know. Then later on, I figured out when I went live the second time, I was actually live on my regular group. And previously, that would have completely freaked me out. Like, oh my gosh, I just went live to like everybody, not just the people who are like following the holistic way. Like, it would have been such a scary thing and shock for my nervous system. But last night, when this actually happened for me, because I wouldn't have done it purposely. Excuse me, I'm gonna blow my nose here. It didn't feel that way. I was like, oh, I was on my other one. And I laughed about it. I thought it was funny and good and wow. And that's all I had. I had no attachments to it. I had no fears to it. I was pretty neutral on it. This morning, I had two new membership requests in my private group, which I had been putting in my regular group. Hey, this is what I do. If you want to come over. Nobody had ever like asked to join that way. This morning, because of that video that I did live in there, not meaning to do it, I have new people coming in that want to hear more about what I do. How does it get any better than this? This is what I'm talking about when things happen for you, not to you, right? If this had been maybe last year, I would have been freaking out and thinking, oh my gosh, I just went on, this is horrible. What are people going to think about me? And I would have been going down that spiral of complete fear that paralyzes you in your tracks. Because of all the work I have been doing and where I am today, it didn't feel that way, right? So I want you to really begin to look at the good that happens in things, right? One time this many years back, I was coming home from work. This is when I used to have a corporate job in New York City. I used to take the train home, and then I would walk about, I don't know, 20 minutes to my house, and it started pouring. And of course, I had like no umbrella, nothing, and I had to walk home. And I was like, okay, here I am. And it was like one of those really downpours. So I just enjoyed it. I began walking in it, feeling the rain, feeling happy about it, and just becoming one with it. This is all before I did any of this holistic type of stuff that of connecting with Mother Nature or anything. I just went with the feeling because there was nothing else I could do. There was no choice. There was no place to hide. There was no place to stay. It just happened, right? Pretty much caught in the rain. And then when I got home, because I was dripping wet, I decided to go in my backyard, and I had a fig tree. I decided to go back there and pick some figs while it was raining, pouring rain, because why not? I'm already dirty. I'm already wet, And I did that, and it was amazing, and I felt really connected. And then finally, I was like, okay, I guess it's time to get back in the house, and I did. And then take your clothes off and take a shower and all the stuff that you do when you're completely soaking wet coming into your house. But that experience, right, of just, okay, this is what's happening, instead of feeling like, oh no, it's raining and let me run home and try to get out of this rain as fast as I can. I know that it wouldn't have made a difference, right? Like, it doesn't make a difference how fast or how slow you go. You're still going to be soaking wet. So instead, I took the opportunity to just look for the good things in it, feel the rain, feel how I had no idea I was connecting with Mother Earth, but it was so nourishing to me, right? So sometimes when you look for the good things in whatever's happening to you, remember it's happening for you. And remember to start thinking and finding those good things so that you can raise your frequency and align with more things that will bring you love and joy. The more time that you spend in love and joy, the more easily you attract more experiences and things to you that make you experience love and joy. And that is how you manifest. All right, guys, let me know how this feels for you. I love you so much. Um, Subscribe if you like the messages, and share to other people that you think might benefit from these messages. And I will see you next time. Bye bye.